Marcus and Renee Thompson bring home about $82,000 a year combined before taxes. By most measures, that's a respectable household income. Right now, they have $142.18 in their checking account, and payday is 6 days away. In a few minutes, their car is going to make a sound it has never made before. And Renee already has a sense of how she's going to have to pay for it, because this isn't the first time. The question worth asking isn't why this family is struggling. It's how a household earning this much still ends up here, and what, if anything, changes that. This is a fictional story, built around a simple idea, a $1,000 emergency fund. Marcus and Renee are both 34, they've been married 9 years, and have 2 kids, Jalen, 8, and Amara, 5. Marcus is a shift supervisor at a regional distribution warehouse. Renee works part-time as a dental hygienist, 3 days a week around the kids' school schedule. Neither of them is careless with money. Marcus checks receipts at the register. Renee has a budgeting app on her phone that she actually opens, and yet, right now, they have close to nothing saved. Not because they haven't tried, because by the time their bills clear each month, there's rarely anything left over to set aside. Here's what a typical month looks like for the Thompsons. Rent, $1,450. Car payment and insurance, $610. Groceries for a family of 4, $780. Utilities and phone, $310. After-school care, $400. Gas, $260. Minimum payments on 2 credit cards, $190. That adds up to about $4,000 a month before anything unplanned happens. On paper, that leaves roughly $1,300, enough in theory to start building savings. But that number rarely survives contact with an actual month. A school fundraiser, a birthday, a grocery bill that runs higher than expected. Small, ordinary costs that quietly use up the space that was supposed to become savings. So when something larger comes up, there's nothing set aside to absorb it. It's a Tuesday. Renee turns the key, and the car makes a grinding sound. A mechanic later tells her it's the serpentine belt. $380 to fix it, the same day. Otherwise, the car doesn't move. And without it, she can't get to work or pick up the kids. She doesn't have $380 in savings. So she does what she's done before. She puts it on a credit card that already has a balance on it. That night, after the kids are asleep, Marcus says something that becomes the turning point of this story. We make good money. Why does it feel like we're always one emergency away from trouble? Renee doesn't have an answer, but she opens her laptop anyway.
She isn't looking for anything dramatic, just some explanation for why they never seem to have a cushion. She comes across an idea used by several personal finance educators, including Dave Ramsey. Before paying down debt aggressively, before anything else, build a small cash buffer first. Not 6 months of expenses, just $1,000. It's one approach among several, not a universal rule. And Renee treats it that way. $1,000 won't fix our life, she tells Marcus. She's right, it won't pay off their debt or change their income. But she runs the numbers on that $380 repair again, and the point becomes clearer. This isn't about solving everything. It's about not repeating the same $380 problem every few months. They agree on a target, $1,000, saved over roughly 2 months. That works out to about $17 a day. Manageable, in theory. Harder in practice, starting from zero. They open a separate savings account at a different bank than their checking account, mainly so it's a little less convenient to dip into. Marcus jokes that it's like hiding the cookies from himself. Renee is already filling out the application. In the first week, they cancel 2 subscriptions they'd forgotten about $24 back. In the second week, Renee starts packing lunches instead of buying from the cafeteria near her clinic. Roughly $140 saved over 10 workdays. In the third week, a setback. Amara needs new shoes. Unplanned. $45 comes straight out of the fund they're still building. Progress from there isn't steady. Marcus picks up 2 extra shifts one week, adding about $210. They sell an old treadmill for $150 the next. But there's also a week where nothing gets added, and all groceries cost more than expected, and for a few days they consider stopping altogether. By the 6th week, the balance sits at $612. It's about halfway to the goal, and getting there hasn't been simple. What keeps them going isn't a plan working perfectly, it's that once the number had grown once, going back to zero felt worse than continuing. On day 52, Jalen comes home from school with a fever of 103. Urgent care, after hours, costs $210. A few months earlier, this would have gone on a credit card, the same way the $380 repair had. This time, Renee pays it out of the emergency fund instead. There's no interest charged, no balance carried forward, nothing added to what they already owe. That night, she writes a short note to herself. This is the first time in a while that a difficult day didn't turn into a longer financial problem. The fund didn't prevent the emergency. It just meant the emergency stayed contained to one day. Instead of becoming a bill, they'd be paying off for months. On day 61, one day past their original target, the account reads $1,004.12. There's no big moment built around it, just Marcus showing Renee the number on the screen. Reaching $1,000 doesn't erase the credit card balance they'd built up before this started. What it does is change what happens next. With a buffer in place, the same $17 a day habit can now go toward paying down that debt directly. The Thompsons aren't real, but the situation is one a lot of households recognize. An emergency fund like this one doesn't make anyone wealthy. It makes it a little less likely that one unexpected expense turns into a longer-term debt problem. The next challenge was deciding what to do with the debt they had already accumulated.